Hello guys. The last video I recorded in Spanish and then I translated with AI to English, which I don't like because even if my English is really bad, I still can speak in English. So from today and until my last video, I will be speaking English. I hope my skills will develop a little bit. So today I'm talking about digital ID. I have been wanting to talk about it for a long time. I spent like 5 to 6 hours on my article, the one that I posted on X. Let me drink a little bit of tea. But on my article on X, Twitter, I didn't explain everything, and I think that even though I explain how the cryptography of the certificates and the public keys and the private keys and all of that, I think that a video is a lot better. So, digital ID. First, I'm going to start by saying my opinion and why I think it's important. And it's basically this. From the beginning, all kinds of governments, maybe is a king, maybe it's a democratic government, maybe it's a parliament, uh, maybe it's a dictatorship, but all kinds of governments and practically basically in every kind of hierarchical power structure, this happens. What happens is that the people that are in a position of power, they want it more. And what's the best thing to keep the power and gaining more is controlling the people that is below them. In other words, for the last few years, especially for the last 5 to 6 years, we have seen how the governments, all governments around the world, started to push very openly and coordinated policies to control, to prevent, and to monitor what people do in the internet. I consider that the internet is the greatest tool we made for communication and to make people unite. But the internet gave us, the normal people, the ones who are trying just to live their lives without seeking power, the internet gave us the power to criticize, to communicate, and to organize. So the government is very actively, even governments that are enemies, governments that don't have any kind of diplomatic relationships, all of them started to implement this kind of policies. And one of the most dangerous is the digital ID. What the governments all around the world are proposing is a digital ID with all your information. So to access basically any kind of online service, you will need to use a digital ID that is not a very complicated technology, it's not anything new. is something that already exists and we have been using it for many, many decades. The technology behind a digital ID is very simple. You just send your information, may it be your passport, your driver's license, your address, and your phone number, and a lot more information that the government will require. You send just your package of information, probably including a face scan. Don't know how it's called in English, but it's a face scan, the same you use to unlock your iPhone, and a fingerprint, your fingerprint, probably. Why not? If I was the government, I will ask for it too. So you have that. You send your information to the government. The government verifies the information, and I say the government, well, it can be Apple, it can be Microsoft, it can be Google who will use this information. Then the government will verify it, but it will be Google or Apple or Microsoft or Amazon, the middleman. The government will generate a key, and you will generate, oh sorry, you will generate on your device a private key that will never leave your device. The device can be your computer, your phone, or a USB token. So your private key is the thing that you will use to confirm that that's you. So when you are logging in your account, let's say let's say Instagram, you want to, let's say Twitter X is better example. So you try to log in on your X account. You have to use your certificate, your digital ID. To this is just a certificate that verifies that that's you with the help of the private key that you have and a public key that the government will have. Yeah, this is a really bad example, but I'm so bad explaining technical things in English. I'm so bad at it. I will explain better now. So you try to log in. The government sends you to your device an encrypted message, let's say a puzzle, to resolve, to solve that puzzle, that encrypted message. You will need to have your private key that was generated on your device and it's unique. It never leaves your device. If you don't have that unique private key, you won't be able to log in. So you verify that the same way you verify with your Apple account right now. It will scan your face just to activate your private key, or you have to use your fingerprint or just use a password. And now the government knows that you log in on your X account, that X account belongs to you, and it will know everything that you post, you like, you see. This is what the government is proposing. What I am proposing, and I think that is achievable if we actually push for it, especially in the US, is we need a digital ID with our information, and we need to share our information for some services. For example, you have a medical account, you have a bank account, you may have other accounts that require your name for a lot of things. You want to buy a house, I don't know, a house or something online, and you need it to be linked to you. You will use your public ID. I will call it like that just for the video. You will use your public ID, so that thing that you are buying or log in knows who you are. But what I'm proposing is inside the app that you will use for your digital ID, for your public ID, for your public certificate, for your public key, you can call it however you want. Inside that app, we can make an anonymous, an 100% anonymous certificate that you will send to verify that that's you. You will send some information, or you will use your public uh, certificate, the one who has your information. So the government will say, okay, this person is a real person that is already verified, or we can verify with the passport. So let's give them the anonymous certificate. So once the government verifies that this is a real person, the one who is asking for an anonymous certificate, the government will delete all the information related to you. You will have on your device an untrackable, untraceable, anonymous key certificate. With that anonymous key, you will be able to verify wherever you want, X, Twitter, Instagram, and the service will know that this is a real person, but won't know who this is. And this is possible if we make the government make the source code open source and public, which I think they should do just to verify the integrity and the security of the software that we are all using, right? So if we push for it, we will get a very easy way to log in on government sites, medical sites, bank sites, your company sites, your Apple account, all your information on with one password on your device, or on casually I have one token that works just like what I'm saying. This is the token of my company. If I need to sync a document, if I need to log in on my company services, I use this. I connect this, and that's all. Same logic for this. I know the explanation is not very good, guys, but I'm trying. English is my third language. My first language is Spanish. My second language is Russian. My wife is Russian. And English is my third language. Sorry if I don't say something right. I speak better with my clients, actually. With my clients, I speak very, very nice. So now you have your anonymous key that you will use for social media, and you will keep your anonymous accounts. You will be able to do whatever you want. But this is exactly what the government doesn't want. So we need to push for this, because if we have a public key, a public certificate that we can use for, as I say, for the banks, for the medical services, for your company services, for your Apple account that you don't want to lose, right? For your Google account, you don't want to lose your Google account. And if you lost your phone number, if you forget your password, you're kind of fucked, right? But with a token like this, you don't have that problem. Or with a private key inside your device or your computer. I have my computer here. Let me drink a little bit of tea, sorry. This is a Chinese tea from 2002. This is fantastic. So, if we get this, we will get a clean internet without bots. Imagine Twitter, Instagram. Imagine navigating the internet when you know that you are interacting with real persons and companies. Because to make an account, you need or a public ID or a public key or anonymous key. I use a key, but I will say ID from now on. So you can have your you can use your public ID to make your personal account, like my account, for example. In my account, I will like, post, and comment about dogs, cats, and how I love my wife. But with my anonymous ID, I will make a second account that will be called. I will. Oh, there's a book. Eh, fly. So in my second account, the anonymous one, the one I made with my anonymous ID, the service, let's say Twitter, only knew that this is a real person that was verified, but we don't know who and we can't know who. The government also doesn't know because if the code that they use to verify people is open source, we will be able to verify that they are actually destroying every piece of information that can be linked to myself, to the person who made the anonymous ID. Once I have this second account that is anonymous, I will call it, let's say, I will call it like liberals of TikTok. I don't know. This is just a famous account on X. I will call it the dog. No, the dog, no, the mother. Sorry. I will call it whatever I want. And then there in that account, I will post, like, and do whatever I want, just like we do now. The problem is that now you can make a farm in which from which I will make 1,000 accounts. No, 1,000 is too little, too few. In which I can make 100,000 accounts, and I can just spam comments, spam an opinion, and push a narrative. If we make a max account, a max number of anonymous IDs, let's say like 25. Why 25? Why not 5? Because, for example, I have 6 accounts on X for different things, my personal, my business, and other services that I have access to. And other people have access to, but I was the one who made them. That's why I think 25 is a good number, right? Um, So this solves the problems of bots. This solves the problem of governments, parties pushing a narrative using bots, because now every single account was made from a real person, even if it's a public account or it's an anonymous account like a meme page. So this is what I have in mind, and we can actually do it. That the technology already exists. Now we need to pressure the governments to give us the freedom that we let them took. They took the freedoms from us because we let them. And technology is advancing very fast. If we don't do something now, in 10 years we won't be able to do anything, and we will be living in 1984. So I think, as especially the young people, we need to do something. We need to oppose the overreaching. We need to oppose the totalitarian governments. We need to oppose endless wars. We need to unite. We don't need more separation. We don't need more problems because of borders. We need to unite. We need to work together. We need to put governments into place. We need to hold politicians accountable. and responsible for what they do, because now they're all are the new kings. They all are above the law, and we are living very strange times, guys. So let's fight for our freedoms. Let's try to make our lives and the lives of our children better, and let's do it until the day we die. There is nothing more important than that. There is nothing more important, guys.